What's up, guys? So it's been a while, but we have brand new Final Fantasy Opus 3 booster cards. So I know I've been meaning to do a lot more videos on the Final Fantasy TCG, but I've just been too busy playing the game, to be honest with you. So let's go and crack open this new set here, and let me slur all my words like always and have some funny moments in here. We are going to butcher genders, we're going to butcher names, we're going to butcher all that stuff. So Sephiroth is on the cover here. Go ahead and open up some of these booster packs, and hopefully I get the camera set up right here and you can see the cards pretty nicely. We're gonna go over some key cards in the sets that I believe are just really good. So first off, there's a lot of commons and rares in Final Fantasy TCG that are actually really good, and then also the artwork is getting so much better in these newer sets. So let's go here. So once we get to, this is actually a really strong card here, Class 0 Cadet. Class 0 Cadets are just insanely powerful, when you combine them together. So this forward can actually choose one forward. If possible, it must block this turn. So you have to dull it and pay a red, which is really cheap actually. And this forward is just wrecking house. So that card is an amazing card. The Dark Chocobo, not really a good card, but it looks cool. It goes in the Chocobo deck, which is kind of just like a fun, funsies, cutesy deck. Black Waltz is actually a really good common in my opinion. So for 4 lightning energy, it's an EX burst, and it does this effect. When it enters the field, choose one forward opponent controls. Until the end of turn, it loses power for each card in your hand. So this can be a pretty big game changer here. Losing power is very important. It can help you with some trades and a great combat effect, or just kind of sneak in damage there. Berserker. Oh, wow, look at this. We got a foil Delita on our very first pack. But let's talk about Berserker. Berserker is another amazing common that is really strong. 3 cost Earth for 8,000 power. That is just nuts. But the downside is Berserker cannot form parties, and Berserker must attack at least once per turn if possible. But with Earth, there's so many buffing abilities that you can actually use Berserker's downside as a benefit. Comboing Berserker with Monk, or any ability like that, or Kefka, abilities that buff you up, or even just the Golems, Berserker becomes a monster. For the cost, it's insane. Berserker is a great common, so definitely don't overlook Berserker. And of course, Delita. Everyone knows about Delita and how powerful Delita is. And we got it as a foil legend. That is just, we should just stop right there, guys. Delita foil legend. Amazing artwork. Beautiful card there. So Ifrit, I was actually really disappointed on this card. It's an EX burst. It does 7,000 damage. And then if you control a Class 0 Cadet, you deal 8,000 damage. It's not really worth it for the cost there. I wouldn't even play it in a Class 0 deck. We have 8. So these are rare cards again, and 8 is actually a really good card. Pretty much any of the Class 0 Cadets are really good cards. So when he enters the field, you choose up to 3 job Class 0 Cadet characters you control. Characters is the key word there, so it can be forwards or backups, and then you activate them. And then the special ability is S, and then green. During this turn, 8 cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, and the next damage dealt to him becomes 0. Such a powerhouse card. Class 0 Cadets is really strong. And then this is Steiner. So this is the alternate artwork for Steiner that comes out of the starter deck. And you're definitely familiar with Steiner if you play the game at all. Steiner is a really powerful card. And we have our hero here, Galoof. Galoof goes into the Dawn Warriors style deck. There's 4 Dawn Warriors that can come out, and they're pretty powerful when you combo them together. Alright, so let's jump into the next pack here. So overall, this set is an amazing set. There's so many good cards in this set. If you're just starting out the TCG, highly recommend grabbing a box of this set of Opus 3. So the Commander. There's a lot of stores that are doing drafts right now as well. This Red Mage is horrible. You definitely don't want to play that Red Mage. Oh man, this card is a monster. For 2 energy, it's 6,000. Plus, if you control card name Yang, you gain 3,000 power. And Yang, there's a lot of Yangs out there. There's like a 2-drop, there's like a 3-drop, there's a 4-drop. This card is insane. So it becomes a 2-drop for 9,000 power. And Yang is actually a really good card as well. So Earth got a lot of great commons rares in this set. So don't be surprised to see, Ursula and yang comboed all over the place. And then the special ability, so it's an S and then 2 Earth. Choose 1 forward, deal at 9,000 damage, which is really, really good, but you have to have the card named Yang in order to do this special ability. But that is another great, great common card right there. So you're definitely going to see that card be played in Earth decks. Nothing really to write. Whoa! 2 foil legendaries in our first 2 packs. So X-Death, I mean, 5/9 is decent. The power here is just weird. When X-Death attacks, all characters lose their jobs until the end of the turn. Kind of like, huh? Doesn't really do anything. But the special is nuts. So it costs 7 lightning energy, and you have to discard an X-Death. But it removes all characters on the field, including yours, including backups, including forwards. Everything goes away besides X-Death, and they all go out of the game. And then this also removes all cards from the break zone out of the game. So everything, this is the complete board wipe of everything except for X-Death. So insane power right here, and it's a legendary. So of course we're going to sleeve this thing up. This card definitely will see some play, and once you get hit by the power, you're going to be like, oh shit, that's bad. That's a game changer. Masked Woman is also another great Earth card. When Masked Woman enters the field, choose 1 dull forward of 4 or less, break it. This is an insane card for a cost of 3. It's a backup that's going to keep generating you more energy every single turn. Plus, when you play it, you're going to kill a dull forward 4 or less, which that's pretty much everything, because most people play 4, 3, 2, 4 drop forwards. There's very few 5 or 6 drop forwards being played currently in the meta. Edward is also a really, really good rare card here. So 3 drop ice backup, and it has this ability, pay 1 ice, pay 1 anything, and then dull. Your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. You can only use this ability during your turn. This is a really, really powerful ability, and it's a pretty damn good backup on its own. Edward cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or ability is a special ability this turn. Oh, this Cagnazo is a monster, especially in the Arc Fiend deck, of course, is one of the Arc Fiends there. Every Arc Fiend got a brand new card in this set, and if Cagna receives damage during your opponent's turn, reduce the damage by 4,000 damage instead. That means you have to hit this guy with over 9,000 or more damage on your opponent's turn. So he's a big blocker, and yes, he can be killed on your turn for 5,000 points of damage. But when Kagzar enters the field, he also reduces power by 1,000 for every 2 water characters that you control. Characters mean anything, so backups and forwards both count as characters. So this is a great card for the 3 cost, even though it's kind of like 3/5. It's not that strong of an attacker, but it's a great, great card. I got nothing to say on this card right here. 5/9 EX burst. Choose 1 forward, opponent controls. If your opponent has no cards in his hand, break it. Nope, nope, nope. Don't like that card. Alright, so next pack, that is a hero that I don't like. Freya. Freya's getting a lot of hype in the San Diego, LA area because of the abilities. So it's haste first strike, which is really good for lightning. So lightning needs some more hasters. With first strike is really cool. And then the special here is discard another Freya, and then 2 lightning energy for each job dragon or dragoon, or each job dragoon or each card named dragoon. Deal 2,000 damage to all of the opponent's forwards. So this is also a dragoon, so the special is guaranteed to do at least 2,000 damage to every forward your opponent controls. But if you build the dragoon deck, you're going to be dealing massive amounts of damage, and if you get up to about 4 dragoons, that's going to be almost a board wipe depending on what they have out there. Cannoneer is an amazing common. 5 drop, so it's very expensive, but the power is insane. So it's a backup, so it's going to generate you energy. And then when Cannoneer enters the field, choose up to 2 forwards opponent controls, dull and freeze them. Especially if you're playing in a draft, this card is just nuts. Because in draft, you can pay the 5 energy with any color energy. You do not need another ice card. In normal competitive play, this card is still really, really good in a mono ice deck. The power to dull and freeze 2 forwards is just nuts. It's so powerful. The only people that can really get around the dulling and freezing effect is kind of wind-based decks or a little bit of water if they're running fairy still, but we're not seeing a lot of people run fairy at all. So really, this card just shuts down every other deck besides wind. It's nuts. And then again, every turn, you're going to generate energy, energy, energy. So the cost, 5 energy, is high, but it's not that high when you really think about it. So after 2 or 3 turns, it's pretty much paid for itself back because you're tapping it every turn for 1 energy. This card is actually really good as well. 2 for 4. When Inferior Summoner enters the field, you may search for 1 water summon, 4 or less, and put it on top of your deck. So water has a ton of drawing abilities. This card pretty much allows you to search and then put that on the deck. So if you want to search for any EX burst or you want a card to draw, this just is a huge flexibility, and it's a 4,000, which is really, really nice. Getting over that 3,000 damage or strength hump is big because it doesn't die to Cyclops, it doesn't die to Valfor, it doesn't die to a lot of little effects. This card is just a overall solid good card. The Brawler is a great mannequin as well. So again, we're touching upon a lot of great cards in this set. Brawler is a mannequin, so it goes in the X-Death Mannequin Death. And when Brawler attacks, choose one forward, the highest cost opponent controls. It cannot block this turn. This is a mannequin version of Tifa, and hence the artwork is Tifa in mannequin form. So Cannonor here sucks. Cloud is another good common card here. So 3 drop for 7,000. If you control a category 7 card other than Cloud, Cloud gains Brave. Any card with Brave is very, very strong. So just putting that out there. And then his ability also is you can dull, choose 1 attacking forward. It gains plus 2,000 till the end of the turn. So he's a multi-purpose card there, and he's generally going to have Brave because if you're running him, you're probably going to be running some of the other Final Fantasy VII characters, especially in a red deck. So this summoner is kind of interesting. It's a decent card because it's 2 costs, Earth Backup. You can pay 2 energy and dull, put summoner into the break zone, cast 1 summon, 6 or less from your hand without paying the cost. So you can get a cheaper version of any summon out there, and it doesn't have to be an Earth summon. So that is a decent card right there. You know, not like a must-have. Our foil, we didn't get a foil legendary this time, so we're now, you know, 2 for 3 in our packs. I'm not a fan of this card, but it does have a lot of great things going for it. It's an EX burst, it's a 3-drop, it's a backup against search. So this card overall is good, but I just haven't found a deck that will really run Ferris or Lena that is like using green. So I'm not a big fan of that card. Same thing, I'm not a fan of this card either. I'm not a fan of the ninjas really. There's, I don't know, just better cards, and sure you can make a ninja deck. Here's the alternate artwork of Armorants. Again, a great card. It's in the starter deck, so I'm not going to touch upon that. That's a great card as well. This card, again, goes in the ninja deck theme, and I haven't played around with it, so I don't have much to say on the ninja cards. I don't think they're that good. Wow, we got our first legendary, our normal one, Lena. And I honestly thought this card sucked at first. I drafted it in our pre-release events, and it was unplayable in the draft because you don't have a lot of 2-drop water characters, and then you definitely couldn't use the ability. In Constructed, I could see how this could be a really good card, actually, because you play it for 5, and then you also get a free water forward 2 or less in your break zone. Then you have the flexibility to play anything, so it doesn't have to be a water forward in your break zone. But having that flexibility to resurrect something is pretty much new to this set. There's a Phoenix, and then there's this card. Yes, the cost is very expensive, but you can actually resurrect a Emperor Zandi, you know, if I understand this correctly, because you're playing it from the break zone. It's going to disregard all of those effects. So yeah, this card is actually really, really cool. And then playing a card from your break zone is just a new effect that we haven't seen yet in the game. So here we go, keep going more. Apologize, that was only 3 packs, and yes, this is going to be a long video because, again, we're going to go over some of the great cards. Again, Type 0, any Type 0 card is really, really strong. So Type 0 cards, just be on the lookout. Type 0 cards are really, really powerful. This card is sneakily strong, in my opinion. Geomancer can be comboed with Valfor. So Geomancer, when it enters the field, deal 2,000 damage to all forwards opponent controls. You can play multiple copies of this card as well, so which means you can drop down 2 or 3 Geomancers in the same turn to hit for 4,000 or 6,000 points of damage. And a lot of people aren't running Minwu anymore, so that damage can definitely stack up. I can definitely see this card going into a green-red hybrid, or even just a straight mono-green deck, because Valfor hits everything for 3,000 damage as well, and then green also has a lot of little pinging abilities that can deal some more damage here and there. This card is designed specifically for Chocobo decks. It searches for Chocobos, and yeah, if you're running a Chocobo deck, you're definitely running this card. Other than that, you probably won't ever see that card played. This card reduces down the Edward card. We touched upon this earlier. I think Edward as a backup is really good. This reduces it down 2 more, so Edward only costs 1. Great water backup here for 2 energy. You can place any number of cards from your hand to the bottom of the deck and then draw the same amount of cards. Kefka foil! Super strong Earth character here. Kefka, if you control 5 backups, which all you need to do is play a Shantato, then Kefka has all these powers. Kefka gets plus 3,000 and then also Brave. If you go the other way and you don't play Shantatos, he's still at 2/5, which is not bad at all because Earth has a lot of buffing up abilities. So Kefka is a great solid card. I'm not a fan of the Windrake. Here's another version of the Yang that we talked about. Yang and Ursula combo together. If you control a card named Ursula, Yang gains plus 1,000 and Brave. So Yang becomes even stronger. When Yang enters the field, you may play 1 card Ursula from your hand onto the field for free. So that's a pretty big effect. Granted, Ursula is only a 2-drop, but still, being able to play it for free is an amazing power. And yeah, this is already a great card. 4/8 is a pretty solid number. And then with all these other effects, and then the special here, deal damage equal to half of Yang's power to all forwards opponent controls, rounded up to the nearest 1,000. Very powerful. So it's going to do 4,000 damage minimum, and then potentially even more if you buff it up. Shiva is just, oh my god, Shiva is such a powerful ice summon. Probably one of the best summons in the set. If Fanfrit wasn't in the set, Shiva probably would be my favorite summon in the set here, but Fanfrit is just so much better than any other card in the game right now. So Shiva does is choose 2 forwards controls and dulls them. Really good card. Love this card. You're going to see a lot of Shivas out there. Gilgamesh is the jack of all trades. 4/8, but it has all these cool abilities, so you can give Gilgamesh haste right away with lightning, and of course he's lightning based, so you're probably gonna have lightning energy. But all the other effects, Gilgamesh with green is actually really cool because he cannot be chosen by summons during this turn. So if someone tries to do something to Gilgamesh, you just play a little green, and then he cannot be summoned. The fire, he's got that little pinging, 2,000 damage, and then Earth, he gets a little buff. So Gilgamesh can go into a lot of decks. This is a very unique card. One of the first cards that has multiple different triggers for different elements. Shantato loves this card, so you can play Shantato, a lightning earth deck, and have Gilgamesh, and then have all the elements with Shantato or Cosmos or Chaos. Any of those cards that give you all the elements, and then you have such flexibility to play whatever ability that you need for Gilgamesh. So that's a great card in my opinion. I mean, there's so many cards in this set. There's only 150 cards in this set, including the starters, but you can see about like 75 of them are just really strong cards. So this is a good card too. It's an EX burst, but it's Vivi. That's the problem. Vivi has a starter card, which you're all probably familiar with, which is just insanely good, and it makes this card almost unplayable because you're going to be running the starter Vivi. So we're going to be going through a lot of these cards. Another Class 0 Cadet, a great card right there. We're going to be going through a lot quicker now because we've touched upon most of the good cards already in the set. So we're not going to go over all the cards that we've already touched upon. King is a monster Class 0 type Cadet. This is another sneaky 1-drop for wind that can go under pretty much everything. Cannot be blocked by a forward 3 or more, so another Yuffie friend. If you control Edge, this card gains haste. Definitely a very, cool, powerful card, but it can be killed by Valfor and Cyclops, and anything does a lot of little pinging damage. This card is nuts. Class 0 Cadet Hero. When the forward damaged by Machina is put from the field into the break zone on the same turn, choose 1 forward opponent controls, deal at 4,000 points of damage. So if this card kills anything, you then get kills anything or deals damage to that forward, Then you get to deal 4,000 damage to something else. Great for red, insanely powerful with a special. This special is essentially a kill your opponent's entire field. So, special is S, and then 3 fire, and then dull. Choose one forward opponent controls, deal it 8,000 damage, and deal 4,000 damage to all the other forwards it controls. 8,000 damage is generally enough damage to kill something, which then is going to trigger the first effect, which then you're going to now deal 4,000 plus another 4,000, which is a total of 8,000, which is generally going to kill that forward, which is then going to trigger his first effect again, and that's going to do another 4,000. So essentially, his power here is going to do 8,000 to pretty much everything on the field. It is a nuts ability, and if for some reason you end up killing 2 forwards with this power, you then can deal out another 8,000. His special ability is essentially a kill your opponent's entire field for only 3 fire energy, and his card, oh my god, this card is nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. That is one of the best cards in this set. And fire didn't even need, you know, a card like that. Fire can play that card, and the Type 0 decks can play that card. That card is going to see a ton of play. Of course, the Mog from the starter. Everyone knows how good the Mog is. This isn't a great Yuffie, or this is a great Yuffie as well. If you control Vincent, Yuffie becomes a 0 cost, so you can play Yuffie for free, which means you can play Yuffie in any deck that has Vincent because you don't even need green to play Yuffie. And then the card named Vincent gains 1,000 power and Brave. Insane abilities there. Vincent is already strong enough on his own, but when you add Brave and another 1,000 points of damage, you're looking at a monstrous Vincent. Another great Type 0 cadets. Our foil Dancer is actually a pretty strong card here. It's a forward for 2/3, which sucks because it can die to all the AoE effects, but you can dull it. Choose one forward opponent controls. It loses all abilities until the end of turn. It definitely is a playable card. Shiva! Man, I don't have experience with the Palamporum combo, but these Palamporums are really, really strong, so I'm not going to touch upon those. Trey is a decent... Trey is actually, in my opinion, one of the worser cadets in the set. He's got a lot of abilities, but it's hard to do them. So if he's active, Trey cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities. If he's dull, Trey cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons. 4/8, so, you know, pretty standard power cost there for a 4-drop. It's just all the other Type 0 cadets are so much better than Trey. Time Mage is a unique card, not as good as people are making it out to be, in my opinion. So you got to pay 3 energy and then you know, put Dull and then put Time Mage into the break zone. You can then choose one forward, remove it from the game, and then you bring it back to the field. So it kind of blinks, if you're familiar with Magic terms, I guess. So it blinks the card out of the game, so it gets around chosen summons and abilities like that. It does not get around board wipes or anything like that. Dragoon. I love Dragoon, and I put this in my Golbez deck. So Dragoon has the ability to gain haste, which is what you want in a Golbez deck, in my opinion. Golbez decks are really, really good. Opus 1 Golbez decks. Golbez 2, Opus 2 are also really good with all the new Arfings. So Golbez is definitely not going away anytime soon. That card is going to be a good card for those kind of decks. Golbez 1 for sure. Thief. Thief allows us now to actually build some more milling decks, which I think you could see a lot more play in Opus 3. So milling is not really used at all right now, but with this card, this allows you to do another milling effect, and it's only a 2-drop backup, so it's a great backup for wind because it's 2-drop. The cost is kind of steep. You have to kill it and then pay 2 energy, put them in the break zone, and then your opponent mills the top 2 cards. But I've seen some success with the milling deck with that card included. The Girl Who Forgot Her Name foil. So this card can search for a World of Final Fantasy character as being a backup, so that's just a decent card right there. Kefka! So what are your thoughts on this set? Do you think this set is really good? Is this the first set that you're really thinking maybe power creep has kicked in? We haven't seen any direct just upgrade really in any card yet. Honestly, they've all been really different and unique. There's just a lot of flexibility in this game right now, which is awesome. Foil Geku. Again, it's a ninja. I'm not familiar with ninjas at all, so I'm not even going to talk about this card. I have yet to see a good ninja deck, so that's part of the reason, and I haven't built a ninja deck. Ooh, Garnets. Garnet is an amazing legend card, probably one of the best legends in the set here. 3/7 looks weak, but it cannot be chosen by summons. So, and then all the forwards you control gain plus 1,000 power until the end of the turn when you cast a summon. She can also pay 2 water and cast any summon of 3 or less from your hand. So she can play a Cyclops, she can play a Titan, she can play a Golem, she can play any summon. It does not have to be water for 3 or less. This allows you to pack tons and tons of summons in your deck and play them in a mono water deck very, very effectively. This card is really, really good, guys. Black Waltz. I love the artwork on Black Waltz. Berserker. Foil. Ooh, this is one of my favorite cards actually from the set too. So at first look, I didn't think this card was good. Inuo costs 5, which means it's kind of bad. I mean, you don't really want to play 5 drops anything, but it's 9,000 power. And then the effect is awesome because it's colorless, so you can use this with any decks, any energy that you have. It doesn't have to be lightning. So what it does is you choose one character in the break zone and remove it from the game. This can combo with so many things. Removing characters from their break zone is great. A lot of people in lightning decks run Sage. Sage is like a staple of lightning decks in my opinion, and it should be because Sage is such a powerful card. Removing cards that they cannot get back from the game is big. And then with it being colorless, you can always use it regardless of what backups you're running, and then it just saves all of your energy, so you're never wasting energy on your turn when you're done with your turn. Also his first effect, when a character is put from the field into the break zone, you may remove it from the game instead. So this gets around a lot of crazy things. So this gets around Golbez breaking, this gets around the Emperor Zandi, this gets around a lot of powerful effects, and definitely should see a lot of play. Oh, Diablos! I love Diablos. Diablos is probably Green's second best summon of all time right now. So Diablos deals 1,000 damage for each character you control. That includes backups. So people don't understand this. Backups are characters. Forwards are characters. Everything is a character except for summons right now. So that means every card on your field is going to deal 1,000 damage. Plus, if you play this in a Type 0 deck, you're going to be able to activate 3 backups. That is big. It's an EX burst, so you can, hit someone for a good amount of damage, and you're almost always going to get at least 5,000 to 6,000 damage on this card, because generally with Wind, you're going to be playing backups. For a 3 cost, that's a great card, and Wind needed cards that actually just destroy stuff. This card, people were really hyped about when it first announced. It's an ice card that kills 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13 costing, pick all forwards. Yeah, so forwards 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. I had to reread for a second to make sure it wasn't characters, because then if it was characters, it'd be good. But this only kills forwards, and it costs 4, and they have to be dull, so this card is not that good. In Ice, it's the only kind of break card that they have, so it's a good card for Ice to have, but you're definitely not running 3 of them in your deck. Alright, so we got Ranger, Freya. I love this new Oracle. This Oracle here for Wind is amazing, and even other decks. So it costs 2 Wind, and you break Oracle, activate all characters you control. Once again, characters is every single card on your field. So that activates your backup, activates your forward. So that means Oracle's ability is essentially a freebie. This card sucks. Genesis Avatar is horrible. You're never going to be playing Genesis Avatar. That card is just garbage, garbage, garbage. Eco. Eco's a good card here. Eco, you can pay 2 water, you can dull, and then you also put them into the break zone, or her into the break zone. I apologize, I'm horrible on genders and names. Choose 4 summons in your break zone, add 1 to your hand, remove the rest from the game. So being a 2-drop is just great. That means you can play it on turn 1. The power allows you to get summons back, which is big for water decks, because water decks have now that Garnet. And Garnet with this, more summons, more options, just a great, great card. Eco. But the problem is there is another version of Eco that allows you to search for Final Fantasy IX characters or forwards. So that card is like, which one do I pick? And they're both really, really good. Yep, here's the other Eco. Speak of the She-Devil. So again, Eco enters the field as a 3-drop backup. You can search for a Category 9 forward and bring it to your hand. Really, really good card. Is in the starter deck, so everyone got to play with that card for a little bit. And we got another Eco. Ooh, we got a Legend Aerith. Not really a good card, and most people are going to be playing the other Aerith if they are playing Aerith. So this card, yeah, not really going to see much play. What it does is, if you control a Final Fantasy VII character, the cost becomes 2. Great, that's awesome. But the power, what the real strength is, the forwards you control cannot be chosen by opponents' backup abilities. So this will shut down Lulu decks, or shut down any like kind of direct damage or pinging effects on backups. This also shuts down Raubon a little bit. So this card could see some play, but you know, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm not a big fan of Aerith. I like the other Aerith a little bit better. Alright, so we are on pack number 12, and as I said, we are speeding things up a little bit because we've touched upon most cards in the set, and as you can see, there is a lot of good, solid cards here in this set. So what do you think is the best card in the set, guys? Post it down below. Do you disagree on any of my opinions here on any of these cards? This is, I think, the best card in the set. Fanfrit, amazing card. Both players select one forward they control and put it into the break zone. EX Burst, 3-drop water summon. This card I put in pretty much every single deck I have, especially water decks. It's a 3-of must. Most other decks it's a 3-of must if you're running a Cosmos or a Chaos, or if you're running a Shantato. Any way to play this card is just get it in your deck. You do not need to have a forward to play this card. So if you have no forwards and your opponent has 2 forwards, you play this card and they have to choose one of their forwards to kill. A kill card for 3 energy. That's an EX Burst that is insanely powerful. Amazing, 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 amazing card. I love that card. Again, haven't touched on the Palamporum, combos at all, so not going to go on that. They look really strong. I haven't played it. I got no opinions on that card. They definitely look strong, though. Yep, Fanfrit is my favorite card. It is the strongest card in my opinion. Exodus is a great card as well. So Lightning gets another kill card. Select one number. Your opponent selects one number. Break all forwards of the cost equal to either number. A great, great card. This is a variation of an Odin here. It's a summon 4-drop. It's not an EX Burst, but it's still a card that you're definitely going to want to play a few of in Lightning decks, and even other decks that just want to kill stuff and go around with that kind of tech. A great, great card there. You're definitely going to see a lot of play there. And again, you don't need to have a forward on your field to play that card. So you can play that card when you have no forwards. You can select your opponent's number, kill their card, and essentially get that card off for a freebie. And if they have multiple cards of the same number, that card will kill multiple characters. So definitely a great card against Golbez decks. You kill the Golbez and then you play that as a summon on all his little 2 characters, and that kills everything. Odin for this set. Odin has always been a good card, and Lightning just doesn't need any more good cards. So Lightning is still going to be one of the top tier colors in the game. Choose one forward. If it has 7,000 power or less, break it. If you control a Class 0 Cadet forward, break it regardless of the power. So this card is pretty much a kill card in a Class 0 Cadet deck, and then it also kills anything 7 or less. Decent. But it really shines in the Class 0 Cadet forwards. And there's just so many good forwards that are Class 0 Cadets that, I mean, you can slide in a couple of the Class 0 Cadets in almost any deck. There's like 3 or 4 different colors of them. They're all pretty strong, which means you can play Odins. Just a good, good card. Carter. Cater. Butcher names. That's what we do on this channel. A great Class 0 Cadet here. Got a lot of ping abilities, so if you need to do a little bit of extra damage. And with the fact that it's only a 2. A decent Rubicant, a decent Barbarcant, and wow, we got all 3 Arc Fiends right there. And we got X-Death. Wow, that's like That's almost perfect. We just needed Golbez instead of X-Death, and then that would have been perfect, right, guys? All the Arc Fiends with Golbez. But yeah, these Arc Fiends are all really, really strong on their own, and then when you make them in the Arc Fiend deck, great, great stuff. The Fire one can actually be played in a mono Fire deck because it gets cheaper when you control 4 or more Fire backups. But yeah, the Arc Fiends are definitely going to make a comeback. And Legendary X-Death, we already talked about that as we got him as a foil already. I am a fan of that card. The X-Death can just crush people, and it's just fun to play. Ugh. Foil little baby win card. Sephiroth, which is surprising. Sephiroth is not a legend or hero. He's on the cover of the booster packs. Looks really cool, but it's just another garbage Sephiroth card that doesn't do anything right now. This card's not really good. Hero, no, not very good. Yeah, so Cloud is on the cover of Opus 4. Does that mean that Cloud is just going to be a rare or a common in that set and not even be a legend? That's going to be really interesting. Foil Thief. Jack. So one of the best cadets too here is it's a 1-drop. It cannot block. It's 7,000 points of damage. For a 1-drop, that's insane. When Jack attacks, Jack does not activate during your next active phase. It's okay. You get 1 free hit with this character, which can take things down. It's also just another body, which, because Class 0 cadets have a lot of abilities that buff up because they have multiple bodies out there. And then Jack's ability, activate Jack. Jack loses all of his abilities until the next turn, so it means he can attack, and then he can also block. Great, great stuff. Plus, there's a lot of cards in the Class Zeros that will allow you to activate character cards, which activate Jack. So Jack is a really strong 1-drop card. Foil Masked Woman, definitely like that. This card probably will be fairly expensive because of the power of killing anything that is 4 or less. Here's the other Dawn Warrior. So again, it goes with the whole Dawn Ward combo. There's a way to bring all these guys out like for free, essentially. Or you bring 2 of them out for 6-drop. Ooh, foil Aerith. Wow, we are 3 legend foils right now, looks like. Ferris. Not much to say on Ferris. Haven't figured out how to make it a 5/8 work. It's EX burst. It's got some effects on it. Just haven't really tested or thought anything through with Ferris. I know there's some combos that can be done with Ferris, so that card could be useful. Phoenix. This is one of the resurrection cards we talked about earlier. Can bring back a forward of 2 or less from your break zone, play it onto the field, deal 2,000 damage to all forwards opponent controls. A great, great card here, especially for red too, pinging everything for damage. You could also combo this with other cards with other colors because it doesn't have to be a red forward that you bring back. Great, great card here. And the artwork is amazing. I really, really, really like this card, but I couldn't get it to work. So I tried this card in a couple decks. It's hard to play. You're hoping to hit it as an EX burst because the power is really, really good. You're really not going to play it as a summon unless you're winning the game with it because it costs 7. What it does is choose 1 forward from your break zone, cost equal or less to the damage that you have been dealt. So if you've been dealt 6 points of damage, you can pretty much grab anything from your break zone and bring it back to your hand. Then you also select 1 opponent's forward, cost equal or less to the damage you've been dealt, and break it. So this card has 2 great effects. It can kill things, and then it can also resurrect something. Oops. I mean, it's just hard to play, though. It's hard to get around, but definitely an Earth deck, because Earth decks, they kind of want to take damage. Foil. I like the artwork, but I don't think that card is that great. Oh, we got a legend again, Zack. Zack is a solid card for 8,000, but with all these abilities to remove him from game, you're really hoping that you can get around that. Because when he dies, you get to bring out a free cloud, 4 or less. So any cloud right now can be brought out on the field. or you can put the Cloud into your hand. So definitely Cloud will see play. Zach will see play again. It just sucks that Zach is a 5-drop. If he was a 4-drop, that card would be really, really good. Fanfare foil! Yes! Oh, I'm so happy. This, again, I think this is the best card in the set. And getting it foil is just so sweet. So, so sweet. Another really strong Earth card here. People, I think, are underlooking this card. Dorgan, he's a 3/6, so not good stat-wise. But his power is remove Dorgan from the game, choose one forward, remove it from the game. That's a really, really powerful power. Gets around so many different effects. He's definitely a card you put into any Earth deck. Any Earth deck, you want to have at least one of him in that deck. I mean, Earth didn't have any kill cards, and now Earth has a lot of kill cards with this set. So I really think Earth has shot way up in the tier list. I'm not sure what the rankings are, if Ice is stronger than Lightning or Lightning is still on top. A decent card, but there's another White Tiger that's a little bit better than that card. Yeah, so I would definitely say Wind has shot way up in the tier lists. Wind is probably 3rd or maybe even 2nd. Ooh. Sice. Always happy to see Cadets foil. Oh, the monster hair. This card is nuts. A lot of people are going to be playing this card. It is expensive, but all the powers. First, 10,000 strength forward, we have natural, and then you can draw a card on before your main phase. You got to choose one of these things. So you draw a card, or all forwards gain plus 3,000 power, or all characters or opponent control lose their abilities. Insane. This is like, if your opponent doesn't kill this card in one turn, you're already getting such a huge value out of this. But you just got to be careful, because yes, you definitely can Odin it, the 7-drop. You can use a couple of the new cards to kill it. You can fan from it, which is just like, But yeah, that card is nuts. All right, so we are 24 packs in now. So overall, a great haul. We got 3 foil legends. At least 3 foil legends, I think. Here's another Dawn Knight. This is the one that brings out the Dawn Knight for free. So it's haste, 6-drop, 8k. When you play it, you bring out one other Dawn Knight for free from your hand. Special ability, give Kelger 6,000 power until the end of the turn. So he becomes a 14,000. One of the strongest cards, if not the strongest cards currently in the game right now, is that card at 14,000 power. Of course, that is with the S ability. Foil Eco. So thank you guys for checking out the channel. Thank you for dropping by for the unboxing. We'll definitely do some more analysis of cards in the future. Also some deck lists and things like that. I just got to get around to it. I mean, I play too much. Not a fan. It costs too much. It brings forwards back up to your hand. It's a double Leviathan. It's not an EX burst. Not a fan of this card. Yeah, so again, thank you guys for checking out the channel. Ooh, wow. That's a big foil. Oh, it looks so nice, foil. It's a beauty. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't think the foil shows up too well on the recording, but it's a beauty. Oh, we got a Legend Bartz. Bad card. Bad card. Don't like Bartz. Bartz sucks. The other Bartz is better. The 5-drop that activates all of your win characters. That Bartz sucks. Sucks. Bad Bartz. Foil Ranger. Fanfrit! Garland. Garland is a monstrous card here. 4/8, doesn't look that good, but reading the abilities during your turn, if Garland receives damage, reduce the damage by 2,000 instead. So you have to block him with a 10,000 plus forward to kill this guy. And then his power, SX. Dull. Choose one forward, deal it 6,000 damage and 1,000 more damage for each CP paid as X. That is a really, really strong power. Pretty much you can kill any forward you want by paying the proper amount, and it's an X cost. So if you discard a card, you're going to get the full value. You're going to get 2 energy out of that. So every card you discard is going to do 2,000 additional damage. That Garland is a really, really good card. And yeah, you're never going to play any of the other Garlands again. Not that you were playing Garlands in the first place, but that card is just amazing. The best Garland right now. Queen. Again, we touched upon this. All the Type 0 cards are really good. Queen is no exception. A great, great card there. One of my favorite win cards in the set, Zidane. When Zidane enters the field, you get to choose a card from your opponent's hand and then remove that card, put it into the break zone. That is really, really powerful. First, you get to take a card out of your opponent's hand. Secondly, you get to look at your opponent's hand, so you get to see exactly what they have in their hand. Those effects are just powerful on their own, and then they combo with some great other win cards like Chaos Wheel, which we haven't pulled yet, but they combo with so many things. Knowledge is power in any game, and this allows you to see what your opponent has. Plus, now this other effect, if your opponent has 2 cards or less, Zidane gains plus 4,000 power. So this card becomes a 7,000, which is, not too shabby. It's actually respectable. 7,000 points of damage or strength is really, really respectable in the current meta. Oh, big, big, big foil. Foil Genesis. Probably the best legend in the set. Foil Genesis, when it enters the field, choose one forward, it dull and freeze it. Oh my god, so powerful. Plus, now, when Genesis deals damage to your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. This card is nuts, guys. 2 amazing effects. The stats aren't great, 7,000 for 4, but the effects make up for it. And Ice has tons of doling abilities, so this card is going to go through and deal damage most likely if you want it to. Insane card. So happy I got it. Oh, Famed Mimic Go-Go. I love this card. This card is so good for 1 energy. The only downside is if your opponent doesn't control forwards, you got to put this card into the break zone. So you can only play this card if your opponent has 1 or more forward on their field. Then the special here. This is just nuts. S. Choose 1 forward, put it into the break zone. You can only use this ability if Famed Mimic is damaged this turn. Holy shit, guys. This card can kill anything. Anything for 1 card. All you have to do is make sure that you do a little bit of damage. So, like, you could do something to ping yourself. Put them in a water wind deck, ping your own hero, and then you can instantly kill anything. It's an S. You don't have to dull on this, so you can do this over and over again. If they drop out more Famed Mimic Go-Gos, this card will be able to blow up the opponent's entire board simply for just 1. Oh, this card is so good, guys. This card is nuts. This card is one of the best water cards in the set. Again, if Fanfrit was not in this set, that card would probably be one of the best cards in the set. But Fanfrit is just, by far, in my opinion, the best card overall. And, yeah, it knocks that card down probably to, like, 3rd or 4th best card in the set. Vivi! Vivi starter foil! Oh, can't get better than this. I love this card. I mean, anyone that's played the game knows how strong this card is. This card is nuts. Don't need to talk about that card. Crappy, crappy, crappy Genesis Avatar. Man, we've already got 2 of that card. So we're coming down to the end here in the box. Let's see what we get in the last couple packs here. You know, I haven't messed around with this card or the combo with it, but for 2 energy, it's decent. I mean, you buff up the other character, and any 2-drop backup is just decent. Kuja! One of the best legends in the set. Kuja has a lot of powers. Again, the power curve, not too great, 3/7. But when Kuja attacks, you can choose 1 forward. You pay 1 energy. If so, you can dull it. And then you can also freeze something for paying 1 ice energy. You can only use these effects once per turn, and you can use each of them once. So Kuja is good. Kuja is strong. Genesis outclasses this card by far. So if you're running an ice deck, you want Genesis over Kuja for sure. But Kuja is definitely a strong card, in my opinion. All right, we're down to the last, I think, 3 packs. We got 4 packs left. 4 packs left, guys. Let's hope for more foil legendaries. Nope. Overall, I think we did really, really good on this box. I think this is definitely a win there. King at Tycoon. Again, I haven't messed around with that, but with all the searching abilities and the EX Burst effects, definitely a decent card for 3 energy. Soldier. So these cards are actually really good in the draft. If you are having a draft event, the searching ability on the soldiers, they actually come in really handy in the draft event. So this card combos well with a Phoenix card. So Phoenix can resurrect any 2-drop or less, and then this card can come out S Fire, deal 6,000 damage to all forwards opponent controls, or S Lightning, choose up to 2 damage forwards and break them. So if you're playing this in a Lightning, Fire, Earth deck, you can end up killing everything because Phoenix does 2,000 damage to everything. So this card is just nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. That's a very, very, unique, weird kind of deck, but is really, really powerful. I guess you need Cosmos, Chaos, Shantato, things like that to get you multiple colors. That card is really, really strong. Blue Mage. All right, so we got 1 more pack left. Let's see what we get in that foil slot. Chaos Wheel. We touched upon this a little bit earlier in this video. Chaos Wheel is probably Green's strongest card. So 3 energy, EX Burst, choose 1 opponent's forward, break it. Doesn't matter what it is, you break that card. If that forward is put into the break zone, your opponent may play 1 forward from their hand onto the field. So you combo this with Zidane, you make sure they have no forwards in their hand. You combo this with Ice, so make sure they have no cards in their hand. You combo this with Yuna, the heroic, which takes everything out of the game. You combo this with that dark Inua card that takes everything out of the game. You do all those things to make that card be removed from the game rather than into the break zone, and they don't get a play forward. This card is nuts. This is what makes Green so good in this set. Diablos, Chaos Wheel, Zidane, so many strong green cards. That card is amazing. I love that card. All right, last one. Let's see, what foil, what foil, what foil? Oh, we got foil Lena. So that looks like 5 foil legendaries in this box. Really good ratio there. Yep, 5 foil legendaries. Wow. Again, we touched upon Lena already, so no need to. Great stuff there. Definitely really happy with this. 5 foil legendaries. Let's see what hero we get. Oh, and Lightning. Sadly, I wanted to like Lightning. I thought this card was really good when it was spoiled, but I don't like this card anymore after playing with it. I played a little bit, made a Lightning deck around this card or on Odin's, and it doesn't work. This card does not work, guys. Not that good of a card. Sorry, Lightning fans. Not going to be seeing that much play. Yes, the EX Burst helps, but it's just not that good of a card. There's too many other better cards now. All right, guys, thank you for watching. We have a whole bunch of card analysis in this video. If you disagree or agree with anything, post it down below. Love to hear from your thoughts. And yeah, if you guys are in the San Diego region, we have tournaments going on all the time here. I host them, so love to see you guys out there at those events. Brute Force Gaming has some Opus 3 booster boxes right now. So, and then also I have some booster boxes available as well. No Opus 3 sadly for sale, but post it down in the comment section. Also got lots of singles for sale as well. So again, post down in the comment section if you are in the San Diego/LA area, and I will see you guys at the events.